I just trusted that they, Mark Few, you're going to get talent at the end of the day. And again, the crazy part is we all thought this was done, and every coach that was involved thought Nembhard was going to Arizona. And not that Gonzaga didn't have a shot. You knew they'd have a shot, but most people felt like, all right, it was Tommy Lloyd who did the heavy lifting on the recruitment of his brother, of Andrew. And look at what Andrew did, right? He wanted out of Florida. Tommy, I remember talking to Tommy through that whole deal. And he had that thing kind of hooked up for him to go to Gonzaga, and the kid's now a pro. So it was going to be one of those two places, Arizona or Gonzaga. And honestly, there was a little bit more of a need for him because I don't know if Nolan Hickman's going to be there now. Like, I'd be surprised if Hickman goes back to Gonzaga now. But, Boswell was still at Arizona. So if you were Nembhard, you still were going there understanding that you weren't the guy with the ball in your hands all the time. You're probably going to be that at Gonzaga now. Yes.
Well, that's what we were saying. Like, Rob, we were just talking about this stuff. Even at Creighton, he had to share those duties with Trey Alexander. Like, there were possessions where Alexander's got to do his thing off the dribble. Great shot maker, tough shot maker, all that. But now, if you go to Arizona, what's really changing about your role? As you just said, going to Gonzaga, he knows he can benefit in every area and be the number one, the undisputed number one.
Yeah, and try to get to the league like your brother did. Take the same path. He's different than his brother. He's not as big, obviously.
I think they're very different players. I think they're very different players.
Agreed.
Now, wait, let me ask you this question, the both of you. I think this is an interesting question. Heading into next year, okay, who are you buying more stock in? The school that Ryan Nembhard just departed, Creighton or Gonzaga?
In terms of,
I got to see with Kalkbrenner. I got to see with Trey Alexander and Kalkbrenner if they come back.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
If they both come back.
If they did.
If they both, again, there's so many moving parts. We don't know what else Gonzaga is going to add. I assume they're not done because my guess is they have like 5 scholarship players on their team right now. So they got to fill out their roster. I like Creighton. I'll tell you what, maybe I'm crazy here. I think Ashworth is a better fit for what Creighton needs if Alexander comes back than Nembhard was.
Let me tell you guys about our sponsor for today's episode, Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 a few weeks back. When we get in the middle of college hoop season, it can be hard for me to eat and drink as healthy as I probably should be, especially in late February and March when the schedule gets really busy. But I found that I've felt better as I've made AG1 a part of my daily routine. I take AG1 in the afternoons after the coffee is worn off and once the itis post-lunch is kind of set in. And what I found, my energy levels are up. It's improved my digestion. And as a result, I'm not only more efficient and productive in the most important time of the year for me and for the field of 68, but I'm working out more consistently. I just feel better. AG1 is so much more than just a greens powder. It's comprehensive health and the power of habit in one. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally could not be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of the AG1 formula with water, and I drink it every single afternoon. Done. Just like that. I also like that it only costs $3 a day. The price is right. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is the answer. They are giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Free! Just go to athleticgreens.com/field68. That's athleticgreens.com/field68. The link is in the description below. Check it out. Support the field of 68 and feel better about yourself.
Well, they need the shooting. And now all of a sudden they have 2 guys that they can run off of whatever they want to be able to get open looks. And both those guys happen to be able to make plays off the bounce and create. And then you have your stud that you can ISO in Trey Alexander, and assuming Kaluma comes back, you have a guy that is like.
I don't think Kaluma's coming back.
Yeah, I don't think
so either.
I don't think he is.
But here's the key. The key is all Kalkbrenner, because if he comes back, you could have the 3 of us guarding on the perimeter. It doesn't matter as long as Kalk's there waiting at the rim.
Wow,
we might have to try that.
Right? Here's what I would say too. If Kalkbrenner comes back, I think you have at least 2 NBA players on Creighton, right? I think Trey Alexander will play in the NBA, and I think one of Baylor Shireman or Ryan Kalkbrenner will find a way to make something happen in the league, right? And that's assuming they don't add another 4
that is going to be an NBA kind of a talent, right? I don't know who's a pro on Gonzaga, right? I don't know. Ryan Nembhard to me doesn't scream NBA point guard. Graham Ike, I think he's a great college big. He doesn't scream NBA player to me. Anton Watson, Steele Ventnors, Malachi Smith, Hickman if he comes back, right? Ben Gregg.
No, they got a bunch of good players.
Yeah, I don't think either of the freshmen are. So
Right.
I think the ceiling for Creighton is higher. But again, a lot of that depends on if they don't have a four-man, like if they lose Kaluma and they don't replace him with somebody, then that's a huge gap. And then we have to have a different conversation. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
All right.
I got a better one. I'm going to flip this back at you right now,
Okay.
guys.
Yep.
Gonzaga or Arizona?
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, Tubelis hasn't announced anything, but I don't. I mean, unless they're going to get him insane NIL somehow through, I don't know, through Lithuania. Like I don't know how. I mean, I just don't. I don't think Arizona's going to be like high powered this year. I think they're going to be good again. But we've said that 2 years in a row, and Tommy Lloyd's just, completely overachieved to the expectations. I think all three of those right now. I'm going to go Creighton. Creighton 1. If I'm ranking those three, Creighton, Gonzaga, Arizona, I would probably go Creighton 1 today, just because you know what they have. Now I don't know if those guys are coming back, but you kind of know what they have. Arizona probably 2, just because again you know a little bit more what they have than Gonzaga. They got to fill out their roster still.